Hi, folks. It is Dr. Jeff Camarda. I hope my hair is okay. I was told by a client today that my hair was not of acceptable quality for these videos, so I do hope you'll forgive me if my hair is a bit misplaced. But again, this is a special report on the COVID-19 Journal, report number 5, March 19th, 2020. And by now, you have been hopefully bludgeoned by recommendations to be careful and maintain social distancing. Please follow them. That's critical. The most important thing beyond money and everything else, don't get the virus, don't get sick, don't spread it. So please follow these recommendations. And if you want detail from me on my thoughts on social distancing and staying safe, please review the videos that we've been sending out over the past few days. So today's report is a bit more optimistic on the financial front. And while we have yet to see the worst of the virus and have months of misery, both economic and in a healthcare system ahead of us, the recession really hasn't begun to unfold yet. It's going to be pretty steep, and it's coming. It's here. It's going to get worse. But beyond that, the economic picture, believe it or not, is brightening considerably. And we're going to have a recession, but it's not going to last forever. Promises of massive stimulus from the U.S. and governments around the world will surely turn things around and quite possibly spark inflation, an issue we haven't had to deal with in a long time. In dark days like these, it is so important to remember that the stock market tends to be a leading economic indicator. It tanks before a recession hits, as it just did, quite dramatically. But recovers, the stock market recovers before the recession ends. It looks ahead, always looking ahead and trying to price and value based on what the future is expected to hold. And while I don't think we've seen the bottom yet in the stock market, I do think that we're getting there. One other thing that's really, really important, check your money market accounts. Remember, money market accounts are actually non-guaranteed mutual funds. They're not bank accounts. They're non-guaranteed mutual funds with shares pegged to $1, and then you find a money market share price is almost always at $1, but the share value can actually change. It can fall below $1 as it did for some funds during the 2008 crisis. A lot of this is related to the commercial paper market, which is probably beyond the scope of this video, but it's seeing quite a bit of trouble lately. So we're checking to see if we need to make changes for Camarda clients' cash accounts at TD. But those of you with accounts elsewhere will want to look into it or have your Camarda PWA or personal wealth advisor do it for you. That's important. You certainly don't want to see a loss on what you thought was guaranteed cash. On financial matters, I want to repeat yesterday's items and then mention a few new ones. Again, this is the time to cut back spending from your investments if you can. Selling shares at depressed prices produces losses that will never be recovered, even when markets recover. If you're living off your investments, it really is time to rebudget and tighten your belt temporarily to see what you can cut. Camarda is convinced this crisis will pass, hopefully later this year, but we want you to come out in good shape on the other side. So for now, we strongly advise you to tightly pinch those pennies. Number 2, don't make drastic portfolio changes. Now is not the time to make big strategy changes, to get out now and to get more conservative. The horse is already out of the barn. And those that do risk locking in losses and missing the near certain rebounds, forever stunting their wealth. Please, please don't make any rash changes. Number 3, refinance if you can. Money is getting to be fire sale cheap as the Fed's gone to zero. You could save a lot even if you've recently refinanced. You should look into that, discuss with your PWA if you want our counsel. Number 4, this is new for today, look at Roth conversions now. With the market drop and current tax rates, this may be the best opportunity to convert that we'll ever see. Of course, all conversions will recognize taxable income, and you should get into that in detail with your tax advisor for bracket control, but I've never seen a better time. And if that's something that you'd like to have us analyze through TaxMaster, talk to your PWA, and we'll see if we can't get Doug, our CPA, to give you a free or at least an expensive opinion. If you don't use TaxMaster, talk to your current tax preparer. Number 5, consider repositioning any legacy stocks that are outside of the Camarda portfolios. We call these non-conforming securities, and because they don't conform to our model portfolios, If we like those stocks, we would own them in our portfolios. We don't. So this is, with the drop now, often these stocks are held because of tax considerations. There are big unrecognized capital gains and so forth. But with this repricing that's going on, it's really a good opportunity maybe to get out of some of the stuff that we don't think is optimum. The tax hit on your non-Camarda portfolio is less severe. If you like, your PWA can help you review that with your legacy stock account. Number 6, consider investing more if you can. It's tough, I know, but very smart. As I mentioned yesterday, a Camarda client during the depths of 2008 crisis in my office said to me, one of the few that wasn't crying, my friends think I'm stupid for buying stocks now, but in a few years, they'll think I'm brilliant. Of course, he was right, and he was. You can be brilliant too. And number 7, most important, let's look at this whole crisis in the context of your goals. The best way to see where you stand is to let us run a projection to see if you can achieve your goals, your retirement funding, whatever is important to you, even with the drop in values. And then let us know, contact your PWA if you'd like them to do that for you. I think that will bring you an awful lot of comfort, and you might be surprised at how, I'm going to say unimportant, but how little impact this really has on your financial goals. It should give you some context and help you soldier through if you need a little bit of motivation. Also note, your PWA will be reaching out to you personally soon by phone if you haven't already spoken to them, to update you and to be of comfort and to help you get through. So be of good cheer. We will get through this. Thanks so much for watching. Until tomorrow, this is Dr. Jeff Camarda, getting back to my hair. See you soon. Bye-bye. There we go. Bye-bye.